Hey everyone, this is my Patreon pod reaction to the 15th episode of Steins Gate. And last episode was a pretty important one. Definitely got some pretty big information. For one thing, we finally found a pathway to possibly saving Mayuri. And this is kind of coming from actually having Kyoma be honest with people like Kurisu, who he got on board to help, and that kind of led Suzuha to jump on board as well. And Suzuha is clearly in a position to help us because she knows a lot because she's from the future, which didn't surprise me at all to find that out. But what did surprise me a lot was finding out that she is John Titor, although she did say her father was, what was it, Barrel Titor, something like that. So, you know, I guess that was kind of foreshadowing for this. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense now. But also, she seems to know Kyoma from, like, the future, like future Kyoma, because she had her little device that was made by him. So there's obviously a connection there. So, considering she dislikes Kurisu, I imagine there was some kind of falling out between Kyoma and Kurisu at some point, but I don't know. We're talking like 26 years in the future. Who knows how much could happen in that amount of time. But anyway, the big thing we learned about was the whole 1% divergence that we have to cross. I mean, we had heard about that before when we talked about Kyoma being able to retain memories when shifting timelines, world lines. So that was brought up again. And apparently, yeah, we got to go from alpha to beta or vice versa. I think it was alpha to beta. Doesn't really matter. The point is, we have a time machine. We have Suzuha's time machine, which should help us. So let's get into it and see what that manages to do for us. So 3, 2, 1, play. That is a time machine. John Titor, the one and only. I never would have guessed she was John Titor. That's not a thing that I would have ever guessed. For a couple reasons. For several reasons, really. Just gonna drink my water while the opening plays. Into the gate. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, just Kurisu seems to be looking like in the opposite direction as Kyoma in that last shot. But anyway. Right. Sounds terrible, Trunks. I mean, Suzuha. It's a rough life. But she does look pretty cool, though, so. And she can climb ropes. I guess that's a kind of ability that's bred in that kind of world when you're a freedom fighter. My father left me. There's that thing. And then you went to the first episode? Most of it? Really? Really? Yeah. The mother. I'm sure you had your reasons. Yeah. What about me? My parents? Oh no. That is much more depressing than my guess. It's quite a drop backwards. That would be the one. That should help. It should. Hopefully. Don't give me a probably. I want guarantees here. Always comes down to that stupid IBN. So... she was the one that left it at the shrine? Does it not work? Is it broken? Gah, I didn't want to hear that. Oh no, security? What could you possibly do? What story could you possibly come up with as to why you're here? I mean, I look forward to you trying. Oh, Kyoma. Now they're just gonna think a crazy person wandered in here. But I guess it's an adequate distraction. Does she want to take that hand, though? She doesn't like you, remember? But yeah, right now we're friends. Live in the present, Suzuha. Sort of. Those are not the best guards I've ever seen. The man has a bright white trench coat, lab coat. Shouldn't be that hard to find. He's also pretty tall, but they're doing their best. Lucky for us, their best isn't very good. Yeah, can't exactly carry that time machine with us. I would assume so. Thunderstorm. We just can't catch a break, can we? Yeah. Mayuri, please be careful. There's nothing to celebrate, though. There's really not. Like, hide under the blankets in a closet. Put a landmine outside the door. Trust me, you're not the only one that's worried, Mayuri. I don't know if that's true. I would like it to be. Don't talk about that. I'm tired of hearing about all that. That can't be easy. Right, it's like before. Yeah, it's probably as far back as we could possibly go. Unless you want to try to... No, there's no way. Never mind. Unless you sent a D-mail to the past telling them to hurry up with the machine. That's about it. So... Okay, no, we're not alone. Yeah, this is kind of important. Yeah, Daru, you're our only hope. Only he was here. Gotta try. That is the absolute deadline, Daru. It's just how it is. You have a deal, sir. And we'll make it happen if we have to. Nothing's impossible for a mad scientisto. Just get to work, Daru. What? That's really not the priority. I just want to give Mayuri a head pat. Well... that little badge. Maybe we could do a Google image search. We're counting on you, Mayuri. She's the best. Okay, Daru, it's up to you. No pressure or anything, but lives are counting on this. You know, if it takes more than 48 hours to get things all figured out and done, what you could have Daru do is like write a bunch of notes down about the first attempt and then come back a second attempt with another timeline Daru's notes to help the next Daru to like speed it up a bit. It's possible, I suppose. Hey, we're on Google Images. We're not a high-budget lab. Yeah, do we use that for anything? Oh, well then. That would be a problem, yeah. Such a weird lab. I should hope so. We're not going to allow him to sleep. The thing just looks so breakable. It makes sense. Really? Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. Just kind of a hero in the future, a legend. I liked your Chunibyo. Okay, it's the next day. Any progress on that time machine? Although I guess we're focusing on the father right now. People are no help, you know that? And you all have the exact same head shake. I'm starting to think this is a conspiracy. Aside from the cat seems cool. Yeah, that got through to him. I'm sure he knows exactly what we're looking for now. What you get for assuming. His Japanese is fine. Maybe. Let's not give up yet. Yeah, we still have until the machine gets finished. Nothing better to do. He does a lot of yelling, that's kind of his thing. It shows how passionate he is. Is that Mayuri's voice? Kidnapping. Okay. Okay. Mayuri. Oh my god, that is... that paper. Yeah. uh... uh... Oh no, we dropped the papers. What? That's, yeah, Kurisu. It's just Christina. Did they talk about the badge? We gotta catch you up, Kurisu. That was actually pretty cute. The whole thing was just Mayuri's the paper, her idea, just kind of horrible timeline would want this girl dead. Give me good news, Daru. He's good. Rude. Get back to work, Daru. That was a cute reaction from Suzuha, though. Yeah, it's an odd ship, but I guess it's fine. Why not? That'd make me feel a lot better. It might not be. Even Daru. Yeah, no people getting gunned down on the streets. Aside from Mayuri. Would you stop doing cute things, Mayuri? What we're here for. Better not be frickin' Moeka. Wow, we gave him our contact info? Otoko. Yeah, his Japanese isn't great, but it's understandable. But anyway, more importantly, yeah, we gotta lead if somebody's not a certain spy. Which I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, I guess I just... Okay, ED. That was actually a bit of an abrupt end, but... It's okay, fair enough. Yeah, almost every time Mayuri does something cute, I just can't help but think the next scene she's just gonna die. Luckily, she didn't die in this episode, which was a nice change of pace. But every time, it just reminded me that the show has done it before and might do it again, taking her away from it. I'm still adjusting to thinking of Suzuha as an ally. Okay, that was the 15th episode of Steins Gate. And yeah, we have the time machine. However, it's broken. Bit of a problem, of course, because we can't really use a broken time machine. And Suzuha can't fix it because she didn't make it. Luckily, we have Daoru who can do it, although he has a very strict 48-hour deadline because, you know, limitations of the time leap thing. We can only go back so far. And, you know, the time leap machines only existed for not too long. So, yeah, we don't have a lot of time for this, so Daoru really had to work hard, but it seems like he's on track to finish, which is pretty great. Daoru really has kind of been the MVP of this show, you know, getting things done, whether it be hacking or fixing or just great lines, you know. Daoru is a very important character for sure. We did get to see some actual visuals of Suzuha in her future running around being a cool, you know, CERN justice fighter, you know, kind of girl. I think that's the official term for it. So that was pretty cool to watch. And yeah, the world is not a very friendly place. So later in the episode, Suzuha was really talking about just what a nice, peaceful world this is compared to the future world. Because this world doesn't have CERN ruling over it with an iron fist. So, you know, we want to try to help the future by going to the past. And Suzuha, that's pretty much her mission, right? Which is the exact opposite of what I thought she was initially, but we're getting past that. So the one scene when she's talking about, you know, Kyoma and Kurisu, you know, mentions that Kurisu like works for CERN, and even Kurisu herself could hardly believe that. But I'm sure a lot can change in 20 years. You know, the person can change a lot in that amount of time for sure, and circumstances can change. So I'm sure it makes sense for people in that future the decision, even if they disagree with it. But anyway, what I'm specifically referring to, before I went off on that side tangent, is when she said, and you're both ... I was pretty sure she was going to say you're both my parents. Just the angle of the shot, you know, where we shot Kyoma on one side, Kurisu on one side, and then Suzuha across from them, kind of in the middle. Just, it really felt right, you know? Because I was still thinking of, like, Dragon Ball Z terms with Trunks. Like, I kind of mentally compared Trunks and Suzuha a lot in my head ever since I found out the truth about her. So, and Dragon Ball Z had a little bit of that, you know, hey, you guys are my parents sort of thing, but of course that was kind of kept secret, so maybe it's true and she's keeping that secret as well. I don't know, it'd be funny though, the timing about lines up, I think. Yeah, about. Maybe. I'm still running with that theory until the show tells me otherwise, because that's just too great. Although, I guess the fact that Kyoma and Kurisu are kind of like opposite sides, you know, Kyoma being the terrorist fighting against CERN and Kurisu working with CERN. I mean, that would kind of make any kind of marriage difficult, but, you know, I'm sure there could be a way for that to work out, you know. Maybe they go their separate ways after they have the kid. I don't know, but it's definitely something that crossed my mind, and it's still in there. So, but what she actually said was they're both dead, which is pretty tragic, because I thought maybe Suzuha and Kyoma were like, you know, buddy in the future. They knew each other pretty well, but that's not the case at all. It seems like she straight up said that she hadn't met him before, and you know, it makes sense because, you know, it's not as if Suzuha was super aware of Kyoma's personality when she came here. You know, it definitely felt like she was getting to know him. So you think of it like that, it makes sense that, yeah, this is kind of a first meeting for her. Suzuha's father was brought up back up as a subject. And I think she even said that her father made the time machine, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, before she talked about how she was hoping to meet her father here, but that never panned out like in previous episode, you know? And Kyoma's whole thing with the D-mail trying to prevent Suzuha from leaving, that apparently is what really screwed us over, you know, causing the damage of the machine. But we can't fix that because it was too long ago. So they decided to try to look for the father in this episode, which didn't go super well. Like, we haven't had much success except for the final end of it, where I think Kyoma got a phone call with some kind of lead. So aside from that, it didn't go too well. But Mayuri tried. Like, she was the one that really brought this up, you know, wanted to do it because she's a good girl. She's the biggest good girl in the whole show, really. So, you know, she wants to help out Suzuha. You know, that whole talk about wishing the cockpit of the time machine could have two people so she could hold Suzuha's hand tight and all that. That was just, that was so just heart exploding, just so much. And then Mayuri handing out the flyers. She had the whole story about the kidnapping or whatever. Just, Oh god, it was all so great. We had so much great MyAnimeLIst stuff in this episode. And I think that's like kind of compensate for the fact that they, spent an episode and a half or so tormenting MyAnimeLIst. I think that was kind of meant to balance that out. Anyway, it was nice having an episode where MyAnimeLIst doesn't suffer. I'm definitely glad to have that. But I wonder if there'll be any big reveals in regards to Suzuha's father. Because like I said, I like the theory that Kurisu and Kyoma are her parents, but that wouldn't make sense just because, like, if she's looking for her father, hey, he's right here. So that's the biggest thing that contradicts my fun little tinfoil hat theory, really. But, still gonna hold on to it. So I wonder if he will manage to find the father somehow, if it is someone else, which it probably is. So I am kind of curious what will come of that, because they bothered to bring it back up in this episode, so it's got to be pretty relevant, right? So, also he talked about going back to 1975. That could be pretty fun if we actually get to see, a little bit in that time frame. People acting all 1970s-y. That could be pretty fun. Of course, I think the real highlight of the episode was just in that one alleyway, Kyoma talking to the one foreigner and trying to communicate in English. I am a scientisto. It's so cool, son of a bitch. I can't even say that with a straight face. I'm kind of impressed he could. But the guy speaks Japanese, a thick foreign accent, but he does speak Japanese, more or less. So, he probably speaks Japanese better than Kyoma speaks English, so it's fine. But, yeah, initially didn't seem to know too much about it, but apparently he just did research in between that time and the phone call, and now he knows something. So, yeah, hopefully he can help us with that. Okay, I wanted to check specifically what he said. He said, the remember. Sorry, it's difficult. The 10 out of 10 Japanese. Suzuha just straight up being a savage, being like, are you sure you speak Japanese? But, it's a difficult language, okay, Suzuha, give him a break. But, yeah. Oh, seems like he'll be able to help, though, which is nice. We need some kind of break in this show. Some sort of help. Even if it's a man with broken Japanese, we'll take what we can get. Oh yeah, the scene where Suzuha, or not Suzuha, Kurisu got the whole kidnapping rumor thing, and then brought that back to the gang as for new information. That was pretty funny. I actually quite like that. She was just not on the same page as us. Just a little bit lagging behind. I also like how it was right after Suzuha made a comment about changing her mind about Daru that he follows up with his line about steaming hot confines of the time machine and all that, which led to the very cute blushing reaction from Suzuha. And apparently, MyAnimeLIst ships that. I didn't, personally, but I guess it's fine. I mean, if Daru was going to end up with anyone, I guess that would be who he has the best chance with, so I guess I can root for that. I mean, she didn't, slap him or anything upon the line, so it probably has a chance. We'll see. I trust MyAnimeLIst's judgment, as everyone should. Technically all the guy said was he remembered about the pin, so I'm not sure how helpful that will end up being. Kyoma seemed to have kind of jumped to conclusion that it'll be very helpful, saying you found her father and all that. But I'm not going to get my hopes up too much on that, really, because of just how vague that was. But hopefully you can at least get us on the right track. That's kind of the highest I'm willing to put my hopes on this questionable foreigner guy. But we'll see. Hopefully things can work out. But yeah, as far as Suzuha goes, this episode, I think more than any other episode, really got me to, feel for her, empathize with her. Because most of the show I've spent thinking she's a dirty spy. So I'm, like I said, still kind of in a transitional period to get out of that. But this episode did a good job of that, Just, yeah, I kind of like Suzuha now, I guess you could say. She has some good moments in this episode. I like listening to her talk about how nice it is, this peaceful time period, making friends, all that kind of stuff was nice to hear. And, MyAnimeLIst obviously likes her. So, yeah, good episode, We didn't really accomplish too much in the episode, I don't think. We just, in the process of getting the machine fixed, we are in the process of finding the father, we're, setting up for things in this episode, right? It was kind of a setup episode in that way. Best way I could describe it, really. And also a MyAnimeLIst refreshment episode. That's also how I would describe it. Anyway, I think I've talked in the discussion long enough, so I'm just gonna end this off here. So, thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.